Opinion videos are not my favorite. They're always really tough to record because a lot of people are very passionate about their opinions. Like, obviously, I'm very passionate about my opinions, but you don't want to force them upon anybody. It's very difficult, and sometimes some people are very loud about opinions, and I've hesitated to record this video because there's already been so much content out there on like half of it. So we're going to talk about this new CT scanner thing a little bit. And I did address it a few videos ago, just briefly kind of giving my opinions on it. Now some more information has come out on it. Some more statements have come out that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And there's another thing involving weighing Pokemon booster packs that has rubbed me the wrong way as well. So I just wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit. If this isn't something that interests you, like, by all means, don't watch the video. Like, I totally understand that. You can let me know what your opinions are in the comment section down below. Maybe I'm missing something. And I support basically anybody's opinion. Like, I think that's fine. I don't think anybody should degrade or demean or anything like that for somebody else's opinion. But I do think that there's holes in some of the arguments that some people have made in response to this CT scanner, as far as like the benefits that it provides. I just don't see it. I don't see the benefits behind it, and I think that's just kind of cop-outs. And I think that we'll talk about it in a second. So let's flip this around just for a second so you can see exactly what we're talking about here. So this is something that was released a few weeks ago. There were some videos that came out. It's been covered a lot. Like Rattle talked about it, Opossum Bud talked about it, J Love has talked about it. They've talked about the CT scanner when it basically first launched. There were some people who started CT scanning or were able to get the means, the technology created to CT scan Pokemon cards. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know anything about this technology because I don't. I struggle enough just editing a YouTube video. So this isn't something that I'm super passionate about or interested in when it comes to advances in technology. Is it cool? Sure. Like that's great. But there's some things that are cool in essence, like the idea of, and then to actually put them to fruition and start using a paid service behind it, which is what this has become, is very sus. And there's a lot of holes behind it. So basically what this does is this scans a sealed booster pack. So it could be a base set booster pack. It could be a Celebrations booster pack, which is basically what we have in the image that's right above my head. This was a Celebrations booster pack that was scanned. And you can see flat out the outline of the Charizard on this. So the Charizard is basically right here, and then you've got the little Celebrations symbol right over here. And this is just basically showcasing the opportunity to search through booster packs and determine if there is a hit or what that hit might be. So think about scanning an Evolving Skies pack to see if there's an alternate art Moonbreon in it. Think about scanning a Pop 5 pack to see if there is an Umbreon Gold Star or an Espeon Gold Star, whichever one it is that's in Pop 5. That is basically the idea behind this. This is something apparently, as I've read comments and listened to more feedback, that has already existed, something that's already been existed and now is being improved upon or being a little bit more discussed vocally, and I think that's great. I think it's really important to bring awareness to this, because if you think about the Pokemon community, and this was my biggest mistake in owning a Pokemon card business when I first started back in like 2015 or so, my biggest mistake was catering to a select group of individuals in the Pokemon card community. I was very involved in the competitive game. I wanted to be able to provide Pokemon cards at cheaper rates for competitive players. It was a time when like Shaymin EX eventually got really expensive, Tapu Lele GX got very expensive, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to provide those prices as low cost as I possibly could to my friends, you know, to the people who played competitively. And that was my biggest mistake, because I closed my mind to the idea that Pokemon was so much bigger. When you think about Pokemon, when it comes to an ocean, or the oceans, the bodies of water that make up the entire world, it is vast. It is so vast. And this is something that I think a lot of people don't understand, because we're so focused on our niche that we're not opening our eyes to the amount of people that collect Pokemon cards or have some interest in Pokemon cards, whether it be somebody who saves up their allowance for a few weeks just to buy one singular booster pack of Pokemon cards, to somebody who spends thousands of dollars every day, which is something a lot of us probably can't even comprehend doing, because it's so much money. People who literally have one of every single Pokemon card that has ever been printed. Like, it is a very large from the smallest minnow up to the largest whale kind of community, and that is something that like I glossed over. I didn't think about, and because of that, like I basically capped myself as far as my niche goes. And that's something that we all need to understand when analyzing something like this. And that's why it's so important to bring awareness to it. And even though we've talked about this a little bit on this channel and a lot of it on other channels, the last thing you want is for this to go away, for people to stop thinking about it, discussing it, because I do think it's going to have ramifications. So this is collector card CT scanning services, and I can't remember the exact name of the company. It's industrial something consulting, collecting, consulting, something like that. And I'm not going to bash the company by any means. Like when they first released this technology and talked about this technology, like a lot of people were like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's really when there was starting to be a paid program that things got weird. Things got a little bit more difficult. Like, let's read this. This is an update that came out just yesterday. So update on August 3rd. We are aware and working through the moral dilemma of CT scanning sealed collectibles. Our objective position is one of scientific ability and data-driven results. It is not our responsibility to determine the ethical positions and choices of others, and we do not expect responsibility for their actions. So I want to start out with that little blurb right there. So that was something that was added. Because it kind of seems like a cop-out to me. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to bash anybody, but that, like, you're obviously doing that for legal purposes or protective purposes, and that's fine. Like, you want to cover yourself. I understand that. And to an extent, I also agree that it's not your job to police everybody else who uses your service. But it is your responsibility, because this is your brand, this is your baby that you have made. Whatever gets done with your technology, with your brand, that is also somewhat of a responsibility to you, to the individual. And I'm just going to use one instance as an example. I got approached by a company several months ago, and I'm not going to bash this company or bad name this company, but there are holes and whatnot in what they said to me when they approached me. And they came up to me and said, hey, Fanny, we want you to do some stuff with us. Like, are you interested at all? And I said, yeah, hold the phone for a second. This is my concern. I'm concerned about some of the stuff that's been going on the platform, just involving scamming and involving things that I'm not too happy with. What are we doing as a company to properly police those situations and make sure that they don't happen again? What kind of responsibility are we taking? And the response was, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. We have addressed it. We've made statements on it, but at the same time, it is not our responsibility to handle every seller in the community. Like, that's not our, but when they're using your brand, that's when I was like, yeah, this is a problem with me, because they are reflective of your brand. We've had instances before outside of our control as a company, as the Card Coliseum, where things went south. Like Hidden Fates tins, when they got reprinted, we were promised an allocation of a certain amount. When Pokemon shipped the allocation to distributors, to our distribution center didn't get as much as they were promised from Pokemon. And because of that, they cut allocations that they already provided and said, hey, Fanny, we're not going to be able to deliver like 10, 15 cases of Hidden Fates tins. And I could have just been like, hey, unfortunately, 10, 15 customers, you're not getting your tins. But that wasn't okay with me, because that's reflective of my brand. So instead, I went out and I bought like 15 cases after the price had already blown up, so that way I could service those customers. That's how a company should handle those situations in my mind. So while it's not your responsibility to police those individuals, it still does impact your brand. Your brand is still the reason behind these moral decisions that a collector might be making. So I'm not a big fan of that. That seems like a cop-out to me. We have brought awareness to the entire industry of the existence and capabilities of this technology. It is up to the individuals to make informed decisions moving forward. That kind of goes back to what we just talked about. In light of information we have received from industry leaders, we believe companies are using this technology in secret to take advantage of the collectibles market. That is great. I believe that. That is probably something that has happened, will continue to happen. And the idea of showcasing this as a possibility from an awareness campaign is wonderful. And it's something that should have been done. So when this first came out and they said, hey guys, look at what could be happening with your vintage first edition packs, or your diamond and pearl packs, or your pop 5 packs, or some of those older, really expensive vintage stuff that sealed collectors might be interested in, that a lot of the minnows are like, hey, I'm never going to be able to get to, but maybe one day I can get to that point. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful to spread that awareness out there. I think it's important. We are making this technology accessible to everyone rather than just a minority. Okay, That's a cop-out again. Basically, what you're saying is you're designing a program to make money. You're a business. You're trying to make money. Okay, like that's really what this turned into then. We are working on policies to combat deceptive practices. We're working on partnering with manufacturers to develop packaging security solutions. We will continue to consider every request we receive. This technology is here to stay, and there will probably be additional companies offering it as a service sometime in the future. The majority of the requests we have received have been from people curious about the value of the 30-year-old collectible, and if this is an opportunity for a life-changing moment. See, these last two things here, this technology is here to stay. That is why I disagree with a lot of people who are saying this isn't impacting the market right now. We'll worry about it down the road when it does impact the market. This is impacting the market right now. This is impacting people right now. Even if people can't afford the $75 or whatever it costs to scan a booster pack, and even if that isn't something that is feasible or makes any sense to scan Evolving Skies or to scan XY Evolutions, like it's not. I understand that, but that doesn't mean it's not impacting the market. Look at all the content that has already been created. Look at all the thousands or tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of comments of people who are saying, I'm never going to collect vintage now. I am never going to be interested in vintage. I'm going to be very careful on where I get my sealed product from, because how do I know if it hasn't already been scanned? Like, this is already impacting the future buying decisions of the hobby. It's already out there. So don't sit there and tell me that this is something that's only going to impact things down the road and we'll worry about it then. That's a cop-out to me. You need to bring awareness to it now. You don't talk about a problem after the problem has already happened. You talk about a problem to prevent the problem from happening. You talk about the potential problem of an issue to prevent it from getting worse. Like, that's how the community works. Like, if you're looking to move the community forward, this is something that should continue to be discussed and should continue to be vigilant. You should continue to be vigilant, whatever, about. Like, that's really important. So don't sit there and tell me that it's not impacting the market, because it already is impacting the market. People are already becoming more aware of this, which is probably a good thing. The majority of requests we have received have been from people curious, and they already admitted that they're getting tons of requests, a giant increase. What else are they going to say to you? Hey, we really want to use your CT scanner to scan the 7 first edition packs, heavy packs that we bought in 2020 when they were selling for $15K a piece. We really want to do that so that way we can determine if any of them have the Charizard, and then we can dump the rest of them that don't and open the one that does. Like, they're not going to tell you what they're actually willing to do. Like, of course they're going to say something like this. So that seems like a cop-out to me. If you haven't heard, we are able to identify holographic cards inside unopened card packs. Visit here to see the initial case study that garnered significant attention. If some people have access to this technology, you should too. I don't know about that. Like I agree awareness should be brought up. I don't know if that means that everybody should have access to it. Like, there are good advances in technology, and then there's technological advances that we get where it's like, why? How is this improving the hobby? How is this making the hobby better moving forward? You cannot police everybody. You cannot understand everybody's true intention. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. It's what's fair in the next logical step. How do we know? Because the explosion of interest we've received between calls from reporters, endless requests to scan packs and kits from collectors, investors, card stores, and auction houses, and a 28,000% spike in traffic on our website. The demand is clear. That's why we've worked around the clock to develop a reliable method and affordable. No, you worked around the clock to figure out a way to make money on this. I mean, it says right here, it's here to stay. Additional companies will be offering it at some time in the future. That's why we can't worry about it. It's going to continue. It's going to get cheaper. It's going to get easier to do. And companies are going to make it where, eventually it does make sense to scan an Evolving Skies booster pack or a pack that's $15, $20 to see what's inside. It's going to be easily accessible. And right now, by generating all this attention to it and not talking about it, the people who are going to suffer the most behind it are the people who are your casual collectors, to the people who are a little bit more interested in the collecting space but don't have the necessary funds or the collection. Maybe that's their goal down the road. But the whales, the people who already have all this stuff, as the dust settles a little bit and the attention stops being spread around this specific thing as much, they're going to take advantage of it, and that's something that's not okay. That is just something that's not okay. This doesn't move things forward. So talking about it, bringing awareness to it is great, but you can't sit here and tell me that it's not impacting the market right now, because it is. We've been reading the commentary surrounding our reveal of the ability to CT scan and image unopened collector card products. Reasonably, there is controversy around if this is a good or a bad thing. We have not taken a position on this. However, now that the method is public, it is fair that it is limited to a small subset of people, or is it fair? We have taken a position that making this technology available to the general public evens the playing field against wealthy investors and bad actors working in secret. I agree a little bit. But I like, again, it seems like a cop-out. It seems like a cop-out to justify the decision to charge for this service. That's what it is to me. I agree that it should be, awareness should be spread. And if this is a company that's like, hey, we're going to make videos, we're going to show the awareness level that's out there, I think that's great. But to say we're going to charge and we're going to make this available to anybody, well, you're just making it available to a lot of other potential problems. You're not really making it available to collectors who are going to utilize it for what the small percentage that you're talking about of 30-year-old collectibles that I just want to know what's in this heavy pack. I just want to know what's in this heavy pack. I have no interest in selling it regardless. I just feel like that's a cop-out. If this is true, wouldn't it be better to offer this service immediately to prevent a small number of people from taking advantage of this by itself? The people who are going to take advantage of it are the people who can afford to do it to begin with, who are the people who are going to take advantage of it to begin with. The people who would use this to not take advantage of it probably aren't going to use it, because the mystery of opening a pack is why they bought that pack to begin with. They don't necessarily care about whether it's a Charizard holo in their base set pack. They care about the fact that it's a heavy pack. That's what they bought. That's what matters to them. The only people who are really going to really take advantage of this are the people who are like, yep, this was CT scanned by industrial consultation or whatever the company is. And again, not bashing the company by any way. So we can timestamp this in our eBay auction, and we can charge a premium price for this product because it was scanned by them, and here's their name, here's what they gave us, and then it does represent this company poorly. And that's the problem. There is responsibility that you have to take because it is your brand that is being recognized. So I disagree with a lot of what's being said about how this isn't impacting the market. I disagree with a lot of thoughts about how this technology is good. I don't think it is. You can feel free to disagree. Like, I totally get that. You don't have to have the same stance on this as I do, and that's what's great about this world, is you can have your own opinion, and there's nothing wrong. There's probably stuff that I'm missing, and there's probably stuff that I didn't say, but we can't sit here and just ignore the fact that this is already happening, and this is already an issue. Another issue that has come up over the past week. I was looking through some Facebook posts on Burbank City Pokemon, which is a big page for buying and selling Pokemon cards that I've been a part of for a very long time. And somebody was looking to sell or buy Evolving Skies packs. I think they were looking to buy Evolving Skies packs for like $15 a piece. And somebody commented on it and said, do you want heavy packs or light packs? And the guy was like, what? Heavy or light for Evolving Skies? Like, are people really advertising heavy packs? First of all, the weight changes of Pokemon, and this is where it's more of an awareness thing. I think it's really important that people understand this, because as time goes on and collectors come out of the space, you used to be able to weigh Pokemon cards, and I'm sure you still can. I'm sure somebody has figured out. I've never really gotten into the whole idea of weighing Pokemon cards. I never did until after I hit like the 75,000 subscriber mark. We did a big giveaway, and I ended up opening up 50 light packs or 75 light packs or something like some ridiculous amount of Wizards of the Coast era packs that were all non-holo rares, and I was absolutely livid. So then I was like, okay, when I replace these and buy packs that are supposed to be unweighed, I would rather, huge shout out again to TCA Gaming, sent me a bunch of unweighed packs. I was able to verify that they were unweighed. That's the only time I think you should really be using a scale, is when you're looking at, that's just the era that we're in. Wizards of the Coast packs, make sure, or even earlier Nintendo packs, make sure that they're heavier, lighter, verified as far as what you're buying. But when Sun and Moon came out, now this was a set that had its own issue to it, because it did become mappable, and a lot of the first print run booster boxes were able to be mapped by stores and by individuals, and it was a whole nother issue that got brought into the hobby. But the code cards started differentiating weights. So you would get a green code card for a non-holo rare. You would get a white code card for a holo rare or an ultra rare. And the differences in weights would basically even out the booster pack. So that way there was not one really that was heavier or lighter. A heavier pack may not contain a hit. That started in the Sun and Moon era. It was a great thing for the hobby. You didn't have to worry as much about going into Target and literally seeing somebody with a digital scale sitting there weighing packs in Target or in Walmart. That is those pictures would surface before the set release, and it drove me absolutely nuts. But there are people out there selling heavy Evolving Skies booster packs and getting more money for them. So if you're looking at buying packs and you're looking at buying loose packs, heavy of modern era packs does not mean anything. It does not mean anything. And I'm sure, like I said, there's probably ways that you could research weights and things like that to determine the more likelihood of something actually containing a hit. But you've got this first eBay auction here that ended on August 3rd. Heavy Evolving Skies booster pack. $20, 16 bids. I looked at feedback for one of these. I think it was the second one down here. The second one, this 22.1 heavy Evolving Skies booster pack, Pokemon new sealed, plus an Umbreon V 188 from Evolving Skies. $38.50 somebody paid for this. The market price on Evolving Skies booster packs, loose booster packs right now is about $12.29. $12.50 is what you can buy Evolving Skies packs for without a problem. This was just a review in the past 6 months. Arrive fast, no hidden pack, but arrive quickly as described as heavy. And in the description, they don't put you're guaranteed to hit. They just put it may or may not contain a hit, but this is heavy because we have spent so much energy and time talking about heavy packs and the idea of heavy packs containing a hit. And this is more of an awareness thing. Do not buy packs that are modern just because they're heavy, just because they weigh more. That does not guarantee a hit anymore. The code card differentials change everything, so there is no hit. You can watch YouTube videos out there of people opening heavy packs of Evolving Skies and getting no hit, but it does not garner $8 additional for a $20 booster pack just because it's 21.8 grams. The grams do not matter when it comes to heavy or light in Evolving Skies, and anything from Sun and Moon forward. At least not to my knowledge. Here's Lost Origin, for example. This one was 20.43, a heavy Lost Origin pack. I don't know how that's heavy, first of all, but $10. Like, it's a $5 pack, a $4.22 pack. It's not worth $10 just because it weighs 20.43 ounce or grams. The next one, $8.99. It's not $4 more expensive just because it weighs 21.4 grams. A heavier booster pack does that. So it's happening with Lost Origin. It's happening with Brilliant Stars. $12 for this Brilliant Stars pack because it weighs 22.4. $10 for this Brilliant Stars pack because it weighs 22.1. The market price on Brilliant Stars is $3.75. That's the price you should pay. Like, that's the most price you should pay for a Brilliant Stars booster pack. Just because it says heavy doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed a hit or anything like that. So just beware when you're buying booster packs. If you're like, hey, I want to buy booster packs, I want to give myself the best odds of getting a hit, then you're probably gonna have to save up and buy a booster box. That's probably your best guarantee. But even Twilight Masquerade, $10 a piece for 22.3 and 22.34. The market price on Twilight Masquerade, the most recent main series set, $3.30. Like, this does not guarantee you anything. So any set that came out Sun and Moon on, the heavy implication really doesn't mean anything. I would even be careful with sets before that. Obviously, do your research, make the best decision when it comes to spending your collection dollars. But I think this is something, now that I've seen it a few times over the past week, something that I just wanted to bring awareness to, because people come in and out of the hobby, and that's kind of what I was trying to get to before. Your level and how long you've been in Pokemon is great, but you don't understand the person that you're talking to. You don't understand the person who maybe you have communicated with recently. They could have just come into the hobby. They could have been in and out of the hobby. They could have been in the hobby for 30 years. You don't know exactly where everybody's story starts, begins, ends, what chapter they're on in their life as far as their collecting journey goes. So everybody is at different levels and different playing fields when it comes to Pokemon. So it's very important to not get taken advantage of. Make sure you buy from a reliable source, somebody that you trust. And that goes back to the CT scanner. That goes back to the weighing of packs. Just be careful out there. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the content. If you do, please hit that subscribe button down below. I'm sorry for rambling. I'm sorry if I ruffled any feathers. Obviously, that wasn't my intent. I just wanted to make sure that awareness is out there. And just to say, I think we should continue talking about it because I think it is important. And I'm sure they're trying to do something. I don't know. Like, I have no idea. I don't want to assume anything. I don't think assuming is great. But I do think it's important that we continue the discussion. So I hope you guys are doing well. Love you. I'll talk to you again on Tuesday with another video. Till next time, peace.